It's hard to put a price tag on something like that. Metric system is stupid. My dog literally smiles. To become part of the solution and not part of the problem. I'm exposing myself to various different forms of bacteria for increasing my ability to be able to handle those colder temperatures. Hey friends, welcome back. I am Jason. We've got a big day today. I got a whole bunch of stuff to take care of. What I figured I would do is just bring you along for the ride and we'd have some nice chats as we go. It's reading low fuel pressure. And the first thing that I'm gonna try is swapping out the diesel fuel filter right there. And as usual, whenever I work on my truck, just like, well, that helps if you unlock the cabinets. When I work on my truck or my motorcycle, I try to use the toolkit that I keep in the vehicle because, you know, if you break down somewhere and you need to work on the thing, you're going to need the tools that you have. And if there's any shortcomings in your kit, you can discover that when you're in the comfort of your own home and you can easily access the tools that you need or go get the tools that you need really easily and you're not broke down on the side of the road. So that's what I'm doing right here. And I do not have, it looks like some giant big torque head socket that I need for that right there. And I am almost 100% sure I do not have that. That's the biggest one I've got right there, and there's no way that's big enough. We're gonna go to plan B. Now, I think that it's super important to be able to work on your own vehicles to some degree. I mean, not everybody can be a master mechanic, of course. Not everybody can know everything about everything, of course. But to some degree, if you own it, you should be able to work on it and be able to fix minor things, basic problems that you might have. Yeah, you might need to phone a friend from time to time. You might need to look up a YouTube video on how to do the things and the stuff, but the confidence, the confidence that comes from being self-reliant and doing your own work on your own tools, with your own tools, on your own machines and stuff is pretty good. I mean, I really appreciate my buddy taking the time to help me work on this truck. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my buddy JP to help me build this truck. That's making a mess. I wouldn't even have taken on this challenge without him. But because I took on this challenge, I have a so much stronger understanding of mechanical things and how they work because of his help that I would not have had. I would not have been as confident of a mechanic if I had not taken on this monumental job of building this truck. Goes right here. Yep. Almost 100% sure. That goes like that. Put a tiny little bit of grease around this gasket here. Make it easier to get off, probably. Easier on, easier off. A little bit better seal, so hopefully it doesn't leak diesel fuel all over the place. Thread that on. And this one, this replacement filter is really nice because it's just got a, hex head on there. That's the way to do it. We're going to crank the truck up and see if that fixes our pressure problem. Now guys, listen, most of my videos are about, survival based stuff, whether it be wilderness survival or urban stuff. Particularly wilderness stuff is the stuff I enjoy the most. And I also have been lately, a lot of new subscribers, you guys watching perhaps, have come because of the disaster relief effort stuff, the Hurricane Helene, the craziness that's been happening up there. And I welcome each and every one of you, but what I really want, the message that I really want to get across is preparedness, just in general preparedness, whether that be physical, whether that be tools and equipment, rice and beans, just general preparedness, because I truly believe that the more prepared that we are, the less chaotic, the less crazy the world will become when the SHTF or whatever it is, Hurricane Helene or an event like that happens in your area, the more prepared you are, the more skills that you possess, the more confidence that you have, the greater ability you will have to become part of the solution and not part of the problem. So I really do appreciate you guys watching all of my videos, each and every single one of them. And it's always kind of been a goal of mine, if I'm fully transparent, a goal of mine is that you guys will watch my videos regardless of what the content really is that you just kind of want to hang out with me and do what it is that I'm doing. And if you are one of those subscribers that is just hanging out, I really do appreciate that, because I guess I'm probably an interesting person. I'm interested in a whole lot of stuff. I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm not an electrician that only does electrical work. I'm not a primitive skill survival guy that only rubs 2 sticks together and nothing else and naps flint rocks. I'm interested in tons of stuff, like a whole lot of things. I intentionally am very well-rounded, and that's what I would encourage each and every one of you to be as well, is more well-rounded, so you're more versatile. You're a more versatile human being. And because I believe the more versatile we are, the more capable we will be to help other people, to be of use, and like I said, be part of the solution, because the problem is going to be an unknown thing. We don't know what the problem is going to be today or tomorrow or the next day. We don't know. And the more well-rounded we are, the more capable we will be to tackle those problems. And some skills are non-transferable. Some skills are. It just depends on what we're talking about. Mechanical skills, just in general, are transferable to a lot of different things. You know, you can solve problems. A lot of mechanical, if you know how to work on a truck and you're proficient at that, and a tractor breaks down, you're going to be more capable of fixing that tractor. I think you guys get what I'm saying. If you have wilderness skills and bushcrafty skills and you're really, really talented at those things, you know, those skills might come into play on a weekend camping, hiking trip gone wrong. It's just really hard to say, but I do know that the more versatile, more well-rounded that we are, I think the more capable we will be. Hopefully, cross your fingers that we get a little more pressure. Are you crossing your fingers? You better be crossing your fingers. Do your part, okay? Do your part. Cold this morning. Probably just at freezing. I'd say right at 32. A little bit nippy. Luckily, I've got my sleeveless jacket on. Keep me warm. Maggie! Do you want to come? My dog literally smiles. Do you want to go for a ride? There she is. There she is. Well, crap. That didn't fix it. Unfortunately. But at least Maggie got to go for a ride. Oh, girl. Went camping with the family over the weekend. Took my daughter's hog here. She put some miles on it. This little Honda CRF 50 is probably the most reliable machine that exists. It's just never, it always runs. Every time you try to start it, it pretty much starts. And if it doesn't, for some reason, it's usually a very simple fix. There's not a whole lot that can go wrong on the thing. First kick. So in previous videos, I've discussed my philosophy on drinking wild water, right? So you drink a little bit of wild water from all over the place, and by doing that, well, not you, me, I'm exposing myself to various different forms of bacterias and whatnot that might be in the water, therefore, in turn, boosting my capability of handling wild water in a survival situation, perhaps. By exposing myself to all sorts of organisms that are living in the water, I'm potentially getting, that's like a vaccine, right? I'm building up an immunity to some of these things. That's at least my theory, and that's what I've been testing. And so far, so good. Not encouraging you to do that, but well, my point is, I feel the same way kind of about the cold, right? Or the heat or the cold, extreme temperatures on either end of the spectrum. By not bundling up with all the layers that I should need to be comfortable outside, I'm exposing myself to cold temperatures and therefore increasing my ability to be able to handle those colder temperatures and be more comfortable when the temperatures drop. Same thing in the heat. You know, don't just immediately run into the AC and turn the AC. Like, the air conditioner does not work in my truck. And mostly because I don't care. Like, I could fix it. It's not that expensive to fix the AC. But I just don't care. When it's hot, I don't mind being hot. When it's cold, I don't mind being a little cold. The heat works, but I think I think you guys get what I'm trying to say is that by exposing yourself to the extremes, you become more durable. And that's what I want to try to do. So this big tote here is full of used vegetable oil that I use to run my truck. And those of you that are about to say, oh, the reason that you're getting low pressure is because you're running crappy used vegetable oil. And that's not the case, because when I'm running, my truck is capable of running on both diesel and veggie. And when it's running on vegetable oil, it's got great fuel pressure. When it's running on diesel, it's got low fuel pressure. So it tells me it's probably a pump issue, but not 100% sure on that. Again, not a great mechanic. I have phoned a friend, my buddy JPZ. Anyway, back on subject here. What I'm going to do now is fill up my truck with vegetable oil. I've been doing a lot of running around all over the place. Like I said, we went camping. It's about an hour away this last weekend. And right before that, the day before that, we just returned from North Carolina, about 3 hours away, helping out with the hurricane stuff. So my truck's out of vegetable oil and I need to fill up. The problem, one of the major problems with the used vegetable oil system is that you have to fill up with used vegetable oil. And it's not as easy as pulling up to the pump and topping off. You have to filter the oil. And the way that I do it is I fill up this tote, long story short, let it sit in here for a long period of time, and all the crap, the junk settles to the bottom, and I pump off the top through a fuel filter. And that works great, no problems. But one of the problems is that in the wintertime when it's cold, vegetable oil gets really thick and does not like to flow, and it definitely does not like to filter. So what I've got to do is warm it up. And this is a heating element for a hot water heater. So I'm going to heat up the oil, and once it gets hot enough, it flows much, much better. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I stick this puppy down in there like so. And then what we do is we just plug it in. And we'll just walk in here, we'll plug this thing in. I do need to at some point today hose off my truck. Not because I care about it looking clean, it's because it snowed in North Carolina and they salted the roads. And salt and steel do not go well together. So I'm gonna try to get that crap all off of there. That's working. And then soon enough, after a couple hours, it will have heated up enough of the fuel here that I can fill up my tank. So a nonprofit that I was a part of starting, small part of starting, is called the U.S. Men's Academy. And one of the things, like the hurricane relief, the U.S. Men's Academy was excellent. We deployed those guys up there, and they got some really amazing work done in a short period of time. So we do a lot of training with them. So we teach them everything from, wilderness survival skills to marksmanship to basic camping stuff. Just all around, we're trying to take young men that have grown up and not learned a lot of these skills and we're trying to give them life skills, leadership skills that they can take and they can utilize in various ways. Like I talked about, being well-rounded, versatile, a versatile human being. That's what we're trying to get these guys to become. And one of the things that they have to do is a fitness assessment, a fitness test. And they're going to do a 2-mile run coming up pretty soon. And what I need to do is I need to map out that 2-mile course and see where it's going to be. I know if I turn right off my road, it gets pretty hilly, and that affects the time on your run for sure. So if we turn left, it's fairly flat, at least for about a mile, which is perfect. So a mile there and a mile back. And I was sent this big bike here from Birch. It's an electric bike company, Birch. I'm not familiar with it other than I saw a picture of it, and that's pretty much it. So they sent this. I'm going to test it out today, and I'm going to go map out that route. Take a spray paint can, maybe mark a little spot on the side of the road or something like that. Shh. I don't know if that's legal. Don't tell anybody. The eagle has landed. I can assure you, there's nothing here for you. Nothing. Beat it. Scram. Psh. The tools the bike comes with would get the job done, I guess, but definitely no comparison to an actual ratchet socket and a real screwdriver and, you know, the whole deal. Always coming to visit. This cat's more like a dog, I think, than anything. She follows me around everywhere I go. Now, I'm not gonna lie, putting this headlight on was a pain in the neck. Those brackets right here were really difficult to close up far enough to get that little screw started with that nut on there. I mean, it's not gonna go anywhere now, but that was a little bit frustrating. All right, let's turn this puppy on. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? Stay put, will you? All right, strapping you to the front of this hog. Let's go for a ride. Little bouncy, little bouncy. Need some air in the tires. That's what we need to start with. Not sure I like that better than I do a regular kickstand. I don't know. We'll see. But what I really need to do is figure out what exactly 1 mile is from here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I could probably use the bike, but the GPS on my phone is probably going to be a little bit more accurate. It's got blinkers. Look at that. All right, got the trip to reset to 0 miles. I'm going to ride 1 mile away, and then I will double check the distance on the way back with the GPS on the phone. All right, there's 1 mile right there. Perfect. So odometer on the bike and the GPS match. It's exactly 1 mile away and fairly flat. Now, I think it's super important to practice what you preach. So if I say it's important to be fit and exercise, and I think it's important to test yourself on a regular basis, then I should be doing that to myself. So it's been a while since I've ran a flat 2 miles for time to see how fast I could do it. I've done, the mountain behind me is exactly 1 mile to the top and 1 mile back down, but it is really tough on the way up. It takes a long time to get up there. Not so long on the way back, but it's not a very good estimate of how fast you could run a flat 2-mile time. You think in your mind it makes sense, the uphill and the downhill, you'll run faster downhill so you'll make up for the lost time. That's not the way it works. Unfortunately, it is significantly slower. It usually takes me, I think the fastest I've ever done the top of the mountain behind me and back was, I don't know, 18 minutes or something like that. Right around 18 minutes, which sounds extremely slow for 2 miles, but it's, like I said, that hill's rough. But before I do that, I'm going to put my tools away like a good boy. I'm the worst. I get so squirrely. I finish up a job and then I'm like, I gotta go do this thing. I gotta run. And I don't put my tools away. And then when I need the tools the next time around, they're missing, they're gone, they're scattered. It's a problem, okay? I'm not perfect. It's a problem and I'm working on it. So right now, this is me doing the right thing and putting my tools away. Hey, maybe you'd like to see what my tools. These are the typical tools that I carry in my truck. For the most part, this gets the job done. I've got ratchet socket set deep well sockets, most standard in metric. I've got basically a simple screwdriver here with interchangeable bits. Crescent wrench. I've got channel locks, little picky-do thing because that's sometimes handy. Wire strippers, cutters. Extensions, sometimes you need a pretty long extension, so I just carry a few short ones here, and then combined they make a really nice long one. So good pair of pliers with some side cutters in it. Allen wrenches. I got another set of Allen wrenches in here. Right here, here's my 1/4 inch stuff, 1/4 inch sockets, ratchets, extensions. Got some Torx there, some zip ties. Everybody needs zip ties. Another set of Allens, side cutters, and then a full set of metric wrenches because just about everything on my truck is metric. At least all the stock standard parts are all metric. Why on an American truck is everything metric? I don't know. It's a good question. I'd like the answer to that as well. The metric system is stupid. Nothing good was built with the metric system. I prefer arbitrary units of measure because it's more challenging. You know what I mean? Any nitwit can work with ones and tens and hundreds, right? But it takes a real mental powerhouse, a real math wizard like myself and other fellow Americans to work with 5,280 feet in a mile. I'm about to go run 5,280 feet and then back. Metric system. Stupid. Also, another huge reason why I like having tools in my truck is because I can help people when needed. Like, for example, when I was in North Carolina last week, a guy I was working with, he had his lights on, flashy lights on. He was parked on the side of the road. It has flashy lights on there and let other vehicles know that he was there. And it drained his battery, and he couldn't start. The weather turned cold, battery was drained, and he could not start his truck up. And I was there with jumper cables, ready to rock. So the carrying tools primarily, I mean, obviously to keep yourself going, keep yourself on the road, but I really enjoy being able to help people when needed. All right, so this is not a review of this bike right here. I was pretty disappointed in it, actually, to be honest with you. I got on the bike, I was up there on the road doing my mile, and it was like 20 miles an hour was the max speed, and I had to help a lot going up the hills, and I was like, man, then I realized it's got 2 motors. It's a dual motor deal. And then I started playing with the little computer here, and I started messing with it. Apparently it comes on the lowest possible setting. So I jacked everything up to make it run at the max. So now it goes over 30 miles an hour, and it carries me up the steepest hill without having to pedal at all. So more to come on that. I was impressed. You know, people in the comment, why are you going to be running when you can just ride your bike? Yeah, I know. Don't get soft on me, people. Battery's about to die, so I'm not going to record much of it. I'm just going to set my timer and see what I end up with. Wish me luck. Here we go.
$15.05, 2 miles. Started carving this spoon yesterday out of a piece of oak firewood, piece of red oak. I was motivated, I was inspired by a book that I started reading by Craig Caudill. It's called Advanced Bushcraft. I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the description and in the comments section. It's a well-written book, great illustrations, and I just found that it kind of like, it's one of those things where you read it, you read the book, or you listen to somebody talk, and you're like, oh, I can do that. It's so easy. And then you set out to do it, and you realize that it takes a refined level of skill to perfect the art of bushcraft. And but needless to say, I have been inspired to get out and do a little bit of carving, a little bit of woodwork. He has just a way of speaking that encourages you, motivates you, inspires you to get outside and start working with this stuff and improving your skills. Highly recommend the book, really well written. Anybody that's interested in bushcraft, or even someone that's not interested in bushcraft, would probably enjoy reading it. So again, I'll put a link to it in the video, as long as I don't forget. Watch out. With my bare forest knives on 3 machete right there. And then the rest of the finer carving I'm doing with this simple. It's a 16-inch, that is the thickness of a blade for a carving knife, in my opinion. The thinner, the better. I mean, 1/16 of an inch is plenty to get the job done. And it just slices through like a hot knife through butter on this stuff. I mean, it's just effortless carving, just really light strokes, push strokes right there. Really easy to craft this thing. Yeah, I'm not much of a carver, as you can probably tell, but it's going to end up being something. Might end up being a ugly spatula instead of a spoon, but we shall see. Well, apparently on my truck, there's a pre-filter before the pump, and then the pump goes to the fuel filter, the primary fuel filter. I changed out the primary fuel filter, may or may not have been the problem, but the pre-filter is clear. It's a clear plastic deal, and I forgot all about there being one there. And I shined my flashlight on it, and it is just gunky and nasty looking in there. So, my wife is in town today for craft day with my youngest, and she's picking me up one of those pre-filters, I hope, so I can get my truck back operational. Here it is. That is the pre-filter that I need to swap out. Well, my brother-in-law turned me on to this little ratchet the other day. Got it at the auto parts. It is fantastic. Look at that. It's got a little swivelly head like that. And what's cool about it is, well, you can get to different angles and stuff like that pretty easily, but once you get something loose, you just kind of turn it straight and you can use it like a screwdriver, a nut driver. That's super handy. I really like it. Right there. Ah, lefty loosey, idiot. Gosh, sometimes, you know, told you, not a very good mechanic. All right, need a pair of pliers. Need a pair of pliers. Need some dead burn. Need dead gum pliers. Ugh. There we go. Oh man, look how gross that is. That's nasty. No wonder I was getting terrible fuel pressure. That one's all the way in. Easy peasy. Where are you? Get out of there. What are you still doing under there? Come here. Come here. definitely improved for sure, but I would not call that good pressure. That seems still pretty low. I mean, it got down to like 15, 20 PSI. Definitely improved. It's not down to close to zero like it was before. Definite improvement. Gotta clean out the back of the truck after the weekend camping trip with the fam. It's always stuff and things every day. All day, every day, stuff and things. I gotta change the oil in the truck in just a little bit, but I'm gonna wait for my son to get home so he can help me. Cause I mean, not that I need his help to do it, obviously, but I need him to learn how to do these things. And whenever I'm doing something like this, a project around the house, I try to include the kids in some form or fashion so they can learn how to do stuff. They can learn skills so they can be more capable individuals as they grow older. It's time consuming and tedious. It takes 3 times longer when they help. It looks a little better. At least I feel better about it. The On3 Adventure truck rarely sees soap. It gets a pressure washing from time to time, and that's about the extent of its cleaning process. Learning new skills, stepping outside of your comfort zone and picking up additional knowledge, tools, equipment, and the know-how to use them, I think it's invaluable. It's hard to put a price tag on something like that. Yeah, I mean, building this truck, for example, took me about a year. All my spare time in a year went into this truck, and it was exhausting. And there was times when I was like, man, this is not worth it. But looking back, would I do it again? Maybe, probably not, actually, because of the time requirement. But I cannot put a value on the lessons learned and the knowledge gained and the skills that I've acquired. So with that, what I would like to know in the comment section today, guys, is what skills have you been working on recently? Do you have weaknesses? Is there anything that you struggle with? I struggle with long distance running. 15:05 for 2 miles to me is not good. Like I need to improve upon that. I guess, 2 miles, I guess, is not really long distance running, but it's long distances for me. So I need to improve upon that. I need to improve my skills as far as radios and technology. I need to improve my skills in a lot of areas, actually. So let me know in the comment section what you're working on. What kind of things are you looking towards perfecting? Until next time, guys, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just go on 3. A little further, right about there. There you go. There you got it. You can do it. Did it move?
Gosh, yes.
But do not drop it into the bucket. That's it. Oil change done. 10 burpees, 10 pull-ups, run to the creek and back. 9. Run to the creek and back. 8 and 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sense?
Dad, can I do reverse burpees?
No.
Guys, go do the run.
Wait, what do I do?
Because they're on those.
Good job, guys.